Hi, JD here, and lunchtime on Tuesday. I have a business called the instituteofwow.com, and we help business owners get more leads, more warm leads, by the way. It's no use getting leads if they're not warm. And I had a phone call just a little while ago from a good former client of mine who is up on the Gold Coast from Adelaide. His name is Wayne, and he used to own a business that was called Cashflow Manager. It was a software for a bookkeeping system, and he would sell that to accountants and small business owners. And I'm going out to have a bite with him tonight for old times. I think he's actually launching something new that he might want to talk to me about, and it brought back memories of what we did to explode his leads for him. And what it was that we actually got Jamone, the Irish comedian, involved in representing his business. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, Jamone, the Irish comedian, for a bookkeeping software program. What were you thinking? We were thinking outside the square. And if you want to get attention, you might like to think outside the square as well. I'm going to show you the a couple of the various videos that we put together showing Jamone representing his business. So bear with me whilst I turn the camera around, and you'll see here, that's Jamone, the Irish comedian. You're probably very familiar with him. Let me play this to you, and when you have a look at it, ask yourself, is this something that would be outside the square in terms of a normal, boring bookkeeping accountancy program? Have a look at this.
If you've got a small business and you find bookkeeping boring, get Cashflow Manager. Takes care of all your bookkeeping and, sorts the whole thing out, even the cash jobs, because they come up from time to time. No, I'm joking. Maybe they do for some people, but I just like to clear this with the tax department. I've never taken cash. I've always come clean, personally. Except for this job. It was just a bit. Cashflow Manager.
I'll come back to the little words that he gave me in a moment. But yeah, so did that stand out from anyone else that was promoting a bookkeeping program like MYOB or Xero? Of course it did. Now, Wayne's business was a minuscule business compared to those other two big 40-ton gorillas in terms of MYOB or Xero, but he was able to steal market share because he thought outside the square. He used Jamone. I'll see if I can actually find another one for you. Give me a second. Here's another one. Let me just play this for you. I'm just going to show off and just give you a couple of these. And I want to actually stress to you, if you're a business owner, that you should be thinking outside the square like this. Let me show you this one. Here we go.
Hi. You sick of laundering money and you want to come clean with the tax department? Well, now you can with Cashflow Manager Washing Up Powder. Cleans up all your accountancy and bookkeeping. It's very simple. Hang on. Cashflow Manager, no, it's the software program. Cleans up all your bookkeeping. Keeps it very simple. Removes all those awkward stains. Cashflow Manager. Simplest washing up powder solution on the planet. Bookkeeping.
Okay, so again, is that very different from Xero or from MYOB? Of course it is. And what incentivized me to throw this quick Facebook Live together was that Wayne, the owner of that business, has subsequently sold Cashflow Manager now, and he's doing other stuff. And I think tonight for dinner, because he's up from Adelaide to the Gold Coast, there's probably a bit of a brainstorm on what he's launching soon with his other business. But he was able to grab market share from 40-ton gorillas like MYOB and Xero by thinking outside the square. Now, there was another client of mine that thought outside the square some time ago, and you have to forgive me if you've seen this before, because I do show off about it quite a bit. And this guy helped me make a small building society in Australia stand out from the crowd as well. Let me just flip the around, and here we go.
Not for me, for you.
Give me a second, I'll take that back to the
Getaway's home loan from the Greater.
Here we go.
I'd like to talk to you about a home loan. Not for me, for you. I have a home.
Well, get a Getaway's home loan from the Greater. It could be the most fun financial decision you'll ever make. Just ask a Greater customer.
When we shopped around for a home loan, we found the Greater had one of the lowest interest rates.
And a free holiday with over 200 choices, and there were no catches.
Get a Getaway's home loan and go on a free holiday. Or loan us some money and we'll go on a holiday. Either way, someone's getting out of here.
Okay, now, is that different from most other banks that you see here in Australia? Now, the Greater Building Society was a minion, as in not million, but minion, okay, small, compared to the big four banks. But by getting Jerry Seinfeld to do their advertising, I was able to help the Greater steal an enormous amount of market share from the big four banks. And the same thing with Jamoan. I have a bit of a gag here. I've got to play this to show off. This is Jamoan. This is Jamoan having a bit of a shot at me. Give me a second. I'll just come back to it. Here we go. This is Jamoan having a bit of fun with me.
JD, I'd like to say that you're probably the most professional marketing person that I've ever had to work with.
Thanks, Jermaine. Thank you very much for that.
I'd like to say that, but you're not. You're the opposite, the most unprofessional.
Thanks for that.
Don't talk to me again.
Better fun. Okay, so therefore, the moral of this story is that if you are in a sea of sameness, that you have a business in an industry which all the marketing and advertising is much the same on Facebook and Instagram and TV or radio or brochures, whatever it might be, then you might like to think outside the square. And if you might like to think outside the square, guess what? We have a private coaching program, blatant plug, I'm sorry, that you might be interested in. And if you're after thinking like that, which is outside the square, delivers warm leads, not just leads, but delivers warm leads, and would cost you less than what you might be paying your PA, then you might like to type below, JD, can I have details of your private program, and then we'll get back to you, okay? Or if you want to send an email, it's info@theinstituteofwow.com, and we'll get back to you and show you what our private coaching program is all about, where I actually take over a lot of your marketing and put together a big marketing plan for you that will have outside the square thinking. If you just want to grab some ideas and steal them and not talk to me, well, that's fine. Just go to the link above. It's called wowmysales.com. There's a 22-minute video there that'll show you a whole lot of more stuff like this, how to think outside the square and how to put together avalanche lead marketing concepts on particularly social media these days, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. Then just click the link above, wowmysales.com, and if you're interested in private coaching, just let me know below. Interested in private coaching, we'll get back to you. That's about it, guys. Moral of the story is that in a sea of sameness, okay, if you are not doing things differently, then you're just going to be invisible like pretty much most of the competitors. And if you're up against 40-ton gorillas, that is, the Coca-Colas of your industry, then you really do have to think outside the square and think of what we call an artificial wow factor. And to me, an artificial wow factor is the likes of Jamoan and the likes of Seinfeld. I used Patty Newton recently, Bert Newton's wife, to promote a seniors hosted holiday company. Now, talk about message to market match, that's perfect. Patty's in the right age group. People trust her. She's a very trusted celebrity, icon of Australian entertainment. And she is filling buses because she is the ambassador for a hosted tour company. And the thing is that I'm not suggesting for a moment you have to run out and find a Seinfeld or Jamoan or Patty Newton. I'm not saying that that's within your budget. It may not be, probably isn't. But what you do need to do is think outside the square. Think about a wow factor that's going to make you different from everyone else. My mantra in life, aside from a business mantra, but it's just my mantra in life in general, to make a difference, you've got to be different. Now, if you have to think about Virgin Airlines, Richard Branson's airplanes are the same as Qantas and American Airlines and Singapore Airlines and just about every other airline in the world. Richard Branson's planes are no different really from anyone else. He might have the bar up the front and things like that, but his aeroplanes are really no different from everyone else's. But guess what? He markets himself differently. He is absolutely an incredible exponent of wow factor marketing. All of his hostesses look like Miss Worlds. I don't know how he gets away with that in this day and age we're in, but guess what? You go onto a Virgin flight and you are surrounded by Miss World hostesses. And he even, again, how he gets away with it in this day and age, I don't know, but he gets away with bikini girls painted on the nose of his aeroplanes. And nobody complains about it because he's Richard Branson. We respect him because he's almost a Walt Disney, he's a Steven Spielberg, he's a George Lucas, he's a fantastic outside-the-square thinker. And I think we give him some leverage, even in this politically correct world that we live in. I think we even give him some leverage because he is Richard Branson, and we revere outside the square thinkers. That's why we revere the likes of Walt Disney and Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and people like that, because they're outside the square. So if you want some outside the square thinking and you're interested in private coaching, you can get me to actually become your marketing mentor, if you like, in terms of providing you with a marketing plan for your business and then ongoing implementation assistance for less than the price that you're probably paying a PA at the moment. I know that because PA average wages in Australia, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, are $54,000. So most secretaries out there at the moment are earning $54,000 average. you can get me for much, much less than that, and I can put your marketing plan together if you're interested, okay? Just type below, interested in private program, I can't talk, interested in private coaching, JD. Okay, enough of that. If you wanted to watch the 22-minute video of all of this stuff, some more of it, with lots and lots of samples of Facebook advertising that's been working for quite a number of our clients, then click the 22-minute link above, which is wowmysales.com. And by the way, we have an event coming up next week, and it's in Brisbane. If you happen to be in southeast Queensland, it's in Brisbane, and it's on Wednesday, the 17th, next week. If you'd like to know more about that, then again, type in the comment below at JD. I'd like to know more about your Wednesday, the 17th event. It's a full-day event. It's a reasonably boutique one. And I know that everybody says that these days because it's harder to fill seminar rooms, so it's really convenient for all the speakers to, oh, it's just a boutique event. We're not going to be having hundreds there. And they're saying that because it's harder to fill rooms. I've decided to keep ours boutique regardless of whether it's hard to fill rooms or not, of 20 or 30 people. And the reason why is because we want the right people in the room. So please don't put your hand up and say, look, I want to come to this event if you're just thinking about starting up a business, or you are not in the league for doing any advertising, or you're a uni student, and forgive me for being rather blunt about this, but what we want is real businesses in the room. The only way I can make money is to sell my services to real businesses who can afford to do Facebook advertising, businesses that can afford to do Instagram advertising, or can afford to build a proper website. And so therefore these days what we tend to do, and it's just called message to market match, is say to businesses, look, if you're doing $300,000 or $400,000 or more turnover, then come to the event, okay? But if you're not, if you're in startup mode, or you've just got an idea and you're a solopreneur, that's fine. I wish you all the very best. It's just that it's no use coming to my event. At least for me, it's no use you coming, because there's no way that you could ever become a client. I'm just revealing the elephant in the room. We only really can help businesses who have got some sort of budget that they can advertise $50 or $100 a day on Facebook and grab all these ideas that we've got and actually implement them. It's of no value to me whatsoever to have uni students in the room and me telling them what to do, and of course they take up oxygen in a seat, and there's no way I'm ever going to get anything out of it. We're running a business as well, so therefore if you want to, and you've got a business that's doing 300 or 400k a year, and you'd like to spend a day with me, then just let me know below. It's in Wednesday the 17th next week. It's in Brisbane, and yeah, it's a full day with me showing you how to create avalanche leads. All the best, guys. Have a good Tuesday afternoon.